Taurus, this is Tracy from Northeast Tarot, and welcome to your December 2017 monthly tarot forecast. This is for Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, and Taurus Rising signs. So Taurus, for this reading, I'm using the Mystic Dreamer Tarot deck, along with the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Linn. If you would like an extension to this reading over on Vimeo, I do have the December 2017 Love Tarot Forecast available. And then also up for sale now on my website, I do have the 2018 Yearly Tarot Forecast. So if that's something that interests you, definitely check out northeasttarot.com. All right. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, Taurus, I do have the Seven of Pentacles. So this is what I'm using as the overall energy for you guys for the month of December. So with the Seven of Pentacles, this can mean a couple of different things. Some of you might have started something. You could be working on something. With the Seven of Pentacles, this is you planting those seeds, but you have to wait for those seeds to sprout. So some of you definitely could be waiting for, you know, some sort of investment, waiting on something to move forward. For other Taurians, with the Seven of Pentacles, you know, you could be looking at, you know, the time, the energy, looking at, you know, how much you've invested in something. And you could be asking yourself, you know, whether or not you want to continue on doing something, whether or not you want to continue on, you know, putting any more time and energy into something. You could kind of be reevaluating, you know, what it is that you're doing or what it is that you want. Right at the center, we do have the Six of Wands crossed by the Empress. So maybe some of you have been working very hard on something and those seeds are starting to sprout, because we have the Six of Wands here, which is a card of success, victory, you feeling proud of yourself. Some of you could even be in the spotlight in some way, receiving some sort of praise or recognition. And with the Empress here, you know, the Empress definitely can represent your sign, Taurus, especially if you're a Taurian woman. You know, you could be in the spotlight in some way. The Empress is a beautiful, beautiful woman. So, you know, all eyes on you, Taurus, for some of you here right at the start of the month. But also, you know, the Empress does represent that very fertile energy. So maybe there are some Taurian women that you could be finding out that you're pregnant, or maybe you're in a relationship with a Taurus woman and she's finding out that she's pregnant, for some of you. But the Empress, generally speaking, does represent abundance. She does represent new beginnings. So some of you could be starting something new, definitely. And it might be the very early stages of it. And that could be why we have the Seven of Pentacles here. Maybe you've worked very hard to get to this point, and this could be the very early stages of this new beginning. But with the Empress here, you know, you could be starting something that is just going to bring in a tremendous amount of abundance. And abundance does come in many forms, Taurus. So for some of you, could be starting something new here, and it's just going to make you incredibly happy. It's going to be very rewarding for you. Now at your foundation, we have the Four of Swords. So maybe some of you, again, had to wait for this. Maybe previously you felt like the energy was, you know, at rest, on hold, not much was happening. For other Taurians, this could have been you taking a break. You know, maybe you went on vacay, or maybe you took some time off of work. You could have definitely, you know, spent some time alone, even thought about this. For some of you, the Four of Swords can represent you just recharging your batteries, you going off, spending some time alone. For other Taurians, you know, it could have represented that wait period that maybe you dealt with. Because we do have the Two of Swords in the more recent past, which could have been a decision that was significant. Maybe some of you heard a decision, maybe you're waiting on a decision, or you had to maybe make a decision. With the Two of Swords and then the Four of Swords here, some Taurians, you know, you might have maybe put off making a decision. Maybe some of you needed a break. Sometimes with the Two of Swords, this can be a person who's a little closed off, or, you know, they're unsure. They're not sure exactly the direction that they should move in, so they don't do anything. So some Taurians, you know, maybe this was you waiting. Maybe this was you unsure, you know, the direction that you were to move in. So maybe you just, you know, decided to not act or not do anything previously. And then crowning you, this is what's on your mind here, we do have the Hermit, which is interesting because we have the Four of Swords at your foundation and we have the Hermit crowning you. So there's definitely maybe some Taurians that I'm reading for that in the month of December and maybe even previously, maybe in November as well, maybe you took some time off of work, or maybe, you know, you got away. This could definitely be some Taurians thinking about spending time alone, maybe wanting to spend some time alone. The Hermit is very spiritually, is highly intuitive. So maybe some of you, you're on this spiritual journey. You could be growing spiritually. Maybe you want to spend some time alone. The Hermit can also be someone who's seeking that enlightenment, seeking those answers. So there also could be some Taurians that maybe you're waiting on some sort of news or information. A Virgo could be significant. An older gentleman could be significant. You know, I also can see the Hermit as an attorney. So there could be some Taurians that you're waiting on maybe information from your attorney, or, you know, you could be hearing it. And that's why we have the Six of Wands here, coming through successful with something here, Taurus, right at the start of December. And then energy that's coming up around the second week, we do have the Ace of Wands. So this is an exciting new beginning. An exciting new beginning that you're starting. So maybe some of you, again, you might have needed a break before this, but now you're starting this new beginning here. With the Ace of Wands, you know, it can be anything that is exciting, that makes you incredibly happy. It can be, you know, a passionate new beginning. It can be a new relationship. Can be a creative project, can be a new home, a new job, something that's exciting to you or something that you're passionate about, Taurus. So we have this new beginning that's coming in, and then in the position of your power, I do have the Sun. So whatever this is, it's making you incredibly happy. But because we have the Sun with the Ace of Wands and then the Empress here, Taurus, there are some Taurian females that I'm reading for here that are going to be getting pregnant in the month of December, or finding out. Some of you could be finding out here, especially around the second, third week of the month, that you're pregnant. With the Sun in this position, the Sun comes in and it highlights things. It shines its light upon certain things. And so some of you with the Ace of Wands, this can be conception. And some of you could be finding out that you're pregnant here, again, around the second, third week of the month. But the Sun is, again, abundance, success, just content, true joy, happiness. And so, yeah, whatever this is, Taurus, it's just making you incredibly happy. But what's interesting is in the position of how those around you are viewing you, and this can be friends, family, significant others, this can be those closest to you, Taurus. We do have the Nine of Swords, so that's quite interesting because what you have happening here is pretty amazing. But to be honest, if you're a Taurian woman and you're finding out you're pregnant, maybe it's scaring the crap out of you. I mean, to be honest, because we have the Nine of Swords here, which, you know, it can be intense sometimes, but it's not always. Sometimes this is a lot of nervous energy. Yes, some sleepless nights. It can be a lot of fear. It can be you worrying unnecessarily. So with the Nine of Swords, just take caution here. I think that some of you are maybe finding something out here. And yes, it can be something that makes you incredibly happy, but also maybe scares you at the same time. And you might have some fear around this. With the Nine of Swords, though, and the Sun, if you were a Taurus that had health problems previously, with this combination, you could be overcoming those health problems here at this time. You know, you could be catching up on your sleep. And, you know, honestly, with the Sun and the Nine of Swords here, whatever challenges you felt previously, I do feel like it's not something that's going to last. And it's going to be easing here with the Sun energy, definitely. Now, in the hopes and fears position, you do have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands can represent like a new adventure. So some of you, maybe that's what you're hoping for, is to walk down this new path. Maybe other Taurians, you could be waiting on news, hoping for news or communication to come in, some positive news, positive communication. And then energy that you're actually leaving the month with, starting the new year with, we have the Knight of Swords. So some of you could be in a hurry. The Knight of Swords is a knight who wants to charge forward, who wants to, you know, get into something very quickly. So some of you, that definitely could be your energy. Maybe something is happening. Maybe it's happening very, very quickly. Some of you definitely with the Page of Wands and then the Knight of Swords here, you could be hearing something. Again, news could be very significant at this time. You could be hearing something. It could be happening very quickly, or news could be coming in very quickly. There could be an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra that is significant at this time. But let's do some clarifying for you. I will look at this Knight of Swords for you, Taurus, clarifying the Knight of Swords for Taurus. Clarifying the Knight of Swords for Taurus. Very interesting. Okay, and I want to take a look at this Nine of Swords for you, Taurus. Clarifying the Nine of Swords for Taurus. Wow. Okay, very interesting, Taurus. All right, so looking at the Knight of Swords energy that you're leaving the month of December with, we do have the Queen of Pentacles with the Page of Rods, which you have the Page of Rods here in the Hopes and Fears position, and then you also have the World. So news is coming in. News is absolutely coming in. Some of you, maybe a cycle of your life is completing, and with the World, it can represent a very long cycle that's finally completing. For other Taurians, you know, you've made it. With the Queen of Pentacles here in the World, you've made it. You have a lot to be grateful for. Travel could definitely be in the cards for some of you here. Right at the end of the year, you could be traveling, definitely. One of the fixed signs could be significant. So maybe another Taurus, a Leo, an Aquarius, or a Scorpio person could be significant at this time. Maybe you're hearing from one of those signs. But you have a lot to be grateful for. There's a lot of abundance around you, Taurus, here in the month of December in many forms. For some of you, that's definitely financial. Now, looking at the Nine of Swords, very interesting. We have the Ace of Rods, which you have here coming up around the second week. So you have the Ace of Rods, you have the Ten of Rods, and then you have the Eight of Cups. And this is looking at the Nine of Swords. And so I think that some of you are worried, definitely. You know, you have this new beginning that you're starting, this Ace of Rods here. This is a new beginning. This is, for some of you, it's a new chapter that you're starting here. But I think it could be a little overwhelming here with the Ten of Rods. If it is a new job or even a second job with the Ten of Rods, you know, this is you feeling that pressure. You have a lot on your plate. Some of you, you know, you have a lot of responsibilities. Maybe for those of you that are finding out you're pregnant, you might already have a large family. And so you might feel, you know, under a lot of pressure or a little stressed out, but don't worry, this energy is going to pass, because I think this Eight of Cups is confirming that. Like I already said with the Sun, which is a powerful major arcana energy here, and this Nine of Swords, it's not going to linger, and this is a cycle that's completing. We already see that nice progression from the 10 to the 1. The Eight of Cups is you focusing on the future. You're moving forward. You're going to get over this, you know, even if it is stress or you feeling like you have a lot on your plate at this moment, you're going to overcome this. You're focused on the future. You're focused on moving forward. And again, I don't feel like you're going to stay in this energy for too long. And maybe, you know, it is a general reading. Maybe all of you won't even experience this Nine of Swords energy. But let's pull you an additional guidance card. This is the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. Additional guidance for Taurus for the month of December. What else does Taurus need to know? you know, some of you might need to rest. With the Nine of Swords here, and then, you know, what I see here in your recent past and what's on your mind here, Taurus, there are going to be some Taurians that maybe you need to rest. It is the holiday season. You know, maybe you picked up a second job or extra hours because you wanted to have enough money for presents and things like that. You know, maybe some of you simply just need to rest here. And we already see new beginnings coming in, and for some of you, travel that's coming up for you. So if you're a Taurus that feels the need to rest, you know, that's my advice to you, is to rest, because you're going to need a lot of energy because you have new beginnings coming up, Taurus. Some of you are going to be traveling, so you're going to need your energy, Taurus. So for those of you that feel the need to rest, or maybe even, you know, take a little vacay, definitely do that. I'm going to choose from this pile here. Taurus. What else does Taurus need to know? Oh my goodness. Okay, we have impasse, reflect and redirect your energy, which, I mean, goes well with everything I just said about resting, reflecting. Maybe some of you with that Seven of Pentacles here, you are going to be redirecting your energy. I mentioned with the Seven of Pentacles, figuring out, you know, what your next step is going to be. Do you want to continue on investing in someone or something? And so some of you, that's exactly what this card is representing, figuring out what your next step is going to be and what you're going to do and what you're going to, you know, put your energy into. And some of you will need some downtime. With the Hermit here, you will need some downtime to figure this out, Taurus. But I think you're going to do that no problem, okay? So I hope that you found this reading helpful. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. If you are interested in receiving a private reading by me, please check out northeasttarot.com. I want to wish you all just a very Merry Christmas and happy holiday season. I wish you a wonderful month. Take care.